Wow. All right. I think we are live. I think this is working. I've been working on this for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. Had to redo all kinds of plugins on the computer. What's going on, Raider Nation? Yes, my name is Jason Smith. I am also known as the Knight. It's been about 2.5 years since I've been on here talking anything Raider related. I was on here about a year ago asking for prayers for which was at the time my fiance, which is now currently my wife. So prayers are still needed. I'm not here to get into that today. I'm here to talk some football, man. It's been a long time. Um, I know this is going to alert you in your message box there, Pete. So please reach out to me if the number's still correct and whatnot. We got some things we got to talk about as we move forward in this. My life is, I mean, before I decided to do this video, I did a couple of things. Number one, I just kind of put a feeler out there on Twitter, and I'm not a big notoriety on Twitter whatsoever. I don't use Twitter all that often, so the response was the response that I did get from a few people, including a close friend of mine. At least I consider him a close friend, Scott Winters, in Puget. If I'm saying your name wrong, dude, I mean the advice you gave me and the encouragement you gave me meant a lot. It brought me to this moment right now. So moving forward on that note, I also looked back at the last video, man. Basically my bow out video where I told everybody I was done. That was 2.5 years ago. That was back in 2016, right before Derek Carr broke his leg. I watched that video back. I meant every word of it. I literally did everything I said I was going to do in that video. I proceeded a new way of life. I got more out of it than I thought I was. I got a wife out of it. I got 4 beautiful stepchildren. My life has completely changed. It's been amazing. I gotta knock off the rust here a little bit, so that's why I'm a little rambling on right now. I just want to kind of get the flow going again here. And the best way to do that is to talk Raider football. So I don't want to be on here long. I just want to get, before it gets too old. In fact, in my opinion, it's already gotten too old. And it's this Derek Carr rumor stuff about him being shopped around at the combine and stuff. And I haven't been able to sit there and check every source that I have as far. And when I say check source, I'm not talking about me having sources, y'all. I'm talking about the videos I watch on YouTube or the things I see or read on Twitter or the podcasts that I now follow and listen to. I have yet to hear the most common response that should be said about this situation, man. And that is, it's draft time, guys. The combine is the first step of setting up your draft board. And what the Raiders are doing right now is they're positioning. There's been a lot of takes that have hit on, for the most part, what I'm talking about. Like, if someone comes up to you and wants to say, well, hey, if we offer number ones, will you interested in this? Like, they're going to listen to any offer. That doesn't mean they're shopping Carr if they're listening to any offer, or somebody wants to talk to them about a certain player. You have to understand, guys, we are in a very interesting position right now at pick number 4. We've been here before. And right now we're trying to position ourselves in our board to get the player that they want to achieve. Now that's not always easy, right? We can't just sit there and say, well, we want Bosa, because I guarantee you we're not getting Bosa. Unless we go up, we're not getting Bosa. So they'll have him on their board, but he's going to be off the board, right? So what is the best way after the number 1 pick, after Nick Bosa is basically off the board? How do you position yourself moving forward to get the pick that you want, or the best opportunity? Well, you start getting the feelers out there to really, really make people think that you're not against drafting a quarterback at this point, right? If we can get people to believe that we really are going to draft Kyler Murray, most likely people are going to want to jump ahead of us for that quarterback. And there's also the other quarterback, Haskins, if I'm saying his name correctly, that people are going to want as well. So if we really put the feelers out there that we are targeting a quarterback, people are going to want to jump up in front of us. And that's exactly what the Raiders would want. In my personal opinion, that's what I believe is going on. If they can get people to jump in front of them, to pick 2 quarterbacks in front of them, that's going to set them up for the second best defensive line person. It could be the defensive tackle. It could be the defensive end. I'm not even going to get into all the names and stuff right now, because that's for draft time. This stuff's got to play out. I'll do a draft video later. Hopefully, maybe Pete can join me on that because I know Pete is a draft nut. He's probably taking notes and stuff right now. But just I just wanted to come on here and just touch base on that. Now, even if we can't get people to jump in front of us to get players, we are also setting ourselves up to shop our pick, right? We would want the Giants, we would want the Jaguars, and we want the Dolphins to negotiate with us and maybe get some more draft picks. Look, there's one thing that I know right now, pre-free agency at this point. Not only do we have a lot of holes, we got holes, we got depth needs, we got positional needs, this team needs a lot. So if we can find a way to jump back a little bit, pick up a few more draft picks because we need as much bodies as we can. These are the things that the Raiders are doing right now. This is why they want people to believe. I mean, the media and we're playing right into their hands. Let's talk about it. Let's put it out there. Let's make everybody think that we really are shopping Derek Carr, because if we're shopping Derek Carr, that means we're going to be in need of a quarterback. Now, trust me, all these GMs, all these coaches in the National Football League understand that what the Raiders are doing, this ain't their first rodeo. With the exception of what I've also heard people already talk about is they got rid of Khalil Mack, right? They got rid of Amari Cooper. Why wouldn't they get rid of Derek Carr? And I'm going to have to agree. Why wouldn't they? As a fan looking in, you're like, man, he would do it. He would do it, with the exception of, and a lot of people have covered this really, really well. And yes, here we go. All the haters, I'm back. Go ahead in the comment section and start writing all the hate about the shades, about my views of what I'm going to say. I'm the pom-pom guy. I'm the Fresno boy, the Derek Carr homer. Yeah, in a way I am. I guess you could say that. I've always admitted that. I'm a little bit of a Derek Carr homer, but his numbers back it up. Now, I know he had a tough outing last year, and people make excuses about the injuries and how it takes a while to come back. And that's all true. But if you just look at just the big picture of it, I mean, man, I've been around when John Gruden was first here, and a West Coast offense in general is pretty complex. But a John Gruden West Coast offense is even more complex. Okay, this is not something that quarterbacks just pick up that quickly. And if you guys remember, he didn't, for whatever reason, maybe because of injury reasons from his leg and his back. He didn't want to expose him too much in the preseason, but he didn't necessarily put him out there in the preseason either, right? He just kind of set him on the sideline, so he didn't get even enough work in the preseason to actually develop any type of chemistry inside, not with the players so much as the system itself, the lingo, the looks, the lineup, the whole nine. So as he entered the season, and he was making a ton of mistakes. He was throwing interception after interception. I mean, he did cost us games, no doubt. No doubt. I'm surprised he didn't trade Carr or bench Carr in that process. But why didn't he? You ever ask yourself that? Why didn't he bench Carr during that time? Because he understood that Carr was learning a system that was very hard and complex to understand. They were learning each other, how to get along, how to communicate. I mean, I shouldn't have to explain all this in detail. We all should know what it is, right? So as we look at what Carr did after week 6, and at the end of this whole season, threw for over 4,000 yards, 19 touchdowns. Yes, his interceptions were way up. You look at his quarterback rating, depending on where you come and looked at it, he was right up there again. He was right. Obviously he's not going to be an all-star, right? He's not going to be an all-pro. I mean, he had a struggling year, fact. But once again, he shows he has the ability. Now, and I'm going to be honest with you, because I said I'm going to come back. I'm going to be as real can be. He has some flaws. Everybody has flaws. And the guy's not Tom Brady. Let's make that clear, right? Even Drew Brees has bad seasons, and he has flaws, right? Derek Carr, coming out in the draft, was called to be timid in the pocket. Probably a lot to do with because of what his brother went through, what have you. He wanted to try to avoid that. And there ain't no mistake in that last season, the guy got pummeled, man. Pummeled. 2 rookie tackles. Penn goes out hurt. The offensive line was atrocious, man. Then they started trading away Amari Cooper. His weapons started to deplete. But I don't want to make weapons an excuse, because I believe that the guys that we had out there were talented, because he actually played really well with those so-called untalented weapons down the stretch. But the offensive line definitely wasn't what it was. Everybody talks about the 2016 season, his performance. We arguably had one of the best offensive lines in football, especially when it came to pass protection. So, of course, he was going to do a lot better that year. He hasn't had that same type of performance from that same offensive line since 2016, with the exception of the 2 rookies we had in there last year, right? But even the year before, the pass protection wasn't as good as it was in 2016. So if anything needs to be done here, right, we need to make sure that offensive line is ready to go this year. He's definitely going to know the offense. Him and John Gruden actually started building some chemistry within each other. Now they're going to understand each other a lot better. And just like I always used to say, and some of the old sayings that I used to do is, with consistency comes consistency and continuity, right? Now we're going to have some consistency moving forward here in 2019. And the continuity will get there with John Gruden in this offense, the verbiage, lineup, reading defenses. And the biggest thing moving forward is what kind of weapons, who's going to be throwing the ball to, who's going to be running the ball. Is the pass protection going to be there? There's a lot of factors. But at this point, with the money we're paying the guy and the cap hit we take if we let him go, you hold on to me. Don't let this guy go. You give him at least one more year. Now, with that said, do you still draft a Kyler Murray? Do you still go out there and if you're going to put this guy on a 1-year rope, you get his backup now? Is AJ McCarron the future if Derek Carr doesn't pan out? Those are questions we cannot answer at this point. But I will say this: I don't want to get into too much draft stuff because there's some more research I need to do. I do definitely want to get a hold of Pete, see if he wants to jump on board with some of the stuff. But at the end of the day, you don't get Kyler Murray. That's is he a talent? Yes. Do I think John Gruden have a little bit of a soft spot for Kyler Murray? Yes, I do believe he has a soft spot for Kyler Murray. Do you go out and get him? No. Too much of a risk at this point, especially with the number 4 all-around pick. This team has too many needs. And this draft is too deep on defense to ignore the fact that we need defensive help. So as we move forward, it's time just to put all this garbage aside, understand that what the Raiders are doing right now is just positioning themselves for that number 4 pick. That's all they're doing. Whether they stay, whether they move up, whether they drop back, it don't matter. They're creating the rumors, creating the talk, getting people fired up, trying to get people to jump either in front of them or trade with them. That would be ideal for the Raiders at this point. At least be able to have the strong conversation for that, to get as much out of it as they can. Because in bottom line, we need players. So I would love to drop back, pick up a few more picks so we could add some more talent to this roster. Other than that, that's where we're at this point. I just wanted to come back. I wanted to knock off some rust. I wanted to spit some game. It's been a long time coming. It's been really been on my heart just to get out, especially when I heard this Carr stuff, man. But anyway, Pete, if you're watching this video, I just got a lit up on my text. It might be you. I'll check it out when I get out of here. But we got to talk, man. We got to start putting some stuff together because our voices, I think, need to be heard again. There's a ton of Raider content out there, and that's what I put out on Twitter. There's a ton of Raider content. Not exactly sure where we fit into all that anymore. I have such a long hiatus, but I'm still confident in my ability to think outside the box when it comes to this football team, and I'm going to continue to do this one way or another. So I might as well just put it on video. Pete, get a hold of me. It's been great, just kind of touching base. As you can see in the background, a lot of things have changed. I'm actually at work, y'all. Yes, I have a job. I'm at work at the moment. So this is kind of my warehouse office where I do outreach stuff. So all this stuff I give away to needy people. So yes, I definitely accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm helping out the community here in Fresno. I'm also working with the youth. I'm also developing youth for Christ. Yes, that's right. I work at a church. I'm a youth director and an outreach director here at Lifebridge Community Church. So I'm just here doing my thing, but I miss you all. I look forward to touching base with y'all in the future. Pete, get a hold of me. To everybody that tunes in, hit that like button if you if you want us really back, if you really want to hear our opinions and what we have to say one way or another, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I know we lost some subscribers. Put the message out there. Let's get this thing bumping again. I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Until then, stay Raider strong.